25-year-old Edric Lamar Davis is behind bars for beating his 6-week-old son to death because his crying stressed him out. At 11:11 a.m. on Monday the 10th of June, authorities responded to a home at 3766 Mount Carmel Lane in Melbourne, Florida on reports of an unresponsive infant. When first responders arrived, they found the victim without a heartbeat and not breathing. Medics attempted life-saving measures and transported the child to a hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 11:55 a.m. Medics initially observed a minor bruise to the baby's left shoulder and scratches to his face, but no other outward signs of physical abuse. After completing an autopsy, however, it was revealed that the child suffered multiple internal injuries caused by blunt force trauma, including contusions to the back of the head, an acute subdural brain hemorrhage on the rear portion of the brain, ocular nerve hemorrhages, fractures to the clavicle, tibia, ribs and jawbone, and other signs of severe trauma. It was noted that these were all recent acute injuries that are believed to have occurred in a forceful and intentional manner just before his death. The child also had older rib fractures that were in the process of healing, and a bruise in the middle of the baby's neck that were both indicators of prior physical abuse. The manner of death was homicide, and the cause of death was multiple blunt force trauma. Edric and the baby's mother, whose name remains anonymous, gave consistent accounts of the events leading up to the discovery of the baby. They both said that the baby had been healthy and had no pre-existing conditions to explain his sudden death. The woman said that she had fed her son baby formula and handed him to Edric before taking a shower. She believed Edric fed the baby for about 15 minutes, then placed him on the bed before joining her in the shower. After they finished their shower, they returned to the bedroom to get dressed and found the infant laying face up and unresponsive on the bed with formula purging from his nose. Upon picking him up, the mother realised her son was not breathing and immediately called 911, while Edric performed CPR. Edric at first claimed to have laid the baby down on his right side after a feeding and returned to find out that the child had formula coming out of his nose, but investigators confronted him about the brain bleeding. At first, he acted like he didn't know how that happened, but eventually admitted to causing the baby's death. He described accidentally striking the baby's head on the door frame, causing the baby to cry, and later forcefully hit the back of the baby's head with his knee while trying to prevent him from falling out of his arms. Edric agreed to demonstrate how the baby fell from his arms and struck the back of his head on his left knee by utilising a toy baby doll supplied for him. Despite minimising the incident's severity, Edric confirmed that the child was uninjured before being left in his care and admitted that he was the only person responsible for the injury leading to the baby's death. Edric again spoke to investigators in a voluntary interview on Wednesday the 19th of June. In that interview, Edric admitted that around 10:45 a.m. on the 10th of June, while the woman was in the shower, he forcefully struck the back of the baby's head with his knee at least 2 times. He said that the baby was fussy and crying, causing him to become stressed. Though still claiming it was unintentional, he described how he was holding the baby face to face, and he slammed his body downward to his left knee, while giving at least 2 knee strikes to the back of his head. Edric admitted that his actions alone caused the baby's death. He agreed to document his admission in an apology letter, stating that he struck the baby because he lost control due to stress and was not in his right mind. This letter was submitted as evidence. Edric was arrested without incident and booked into the Brevard County Jail on charges of first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse inflicting harm or death. On Friday the 21st of June, Edric appeared in court where the judge denied him bond. The investigation into the matter continues. Homicide detectives are investigating the fatal shooting of an 18-year-old woman. At 12:22 a.m. on Saturday the 22nd of June, authorities responded to a residence in the Carrick Place Apartments complex in the 6000 block of O'Sweeney Lane in Dublin, Ohio, on reports of shots fired. When first responders arrived, they entered the premises and found 18-year-old Kiara Nelson in a critical condition suffering from a gunshot wound. Medics attempted life-saving measures and rushed her to Riverside Methodist Hospital where she died at 1:51 a.m. Investigators said the incident stemmed from an argument between 2 others inside the apartment and that Kiara tried to intervene and was fatally wounded when a firearm discharged. Police said they're searching for the shooter and no arrests have been made to date as the investigation into the matter continues. A 31-year-old man is behind bars and he's facing a slew of charges, including rape of a mentally disabled person. On Thursday the 20th of June, after a multi-month-long investigation, Middlesex Township Police in Pennsylvania obtained a warrant to arrest 31-year-old Warren Mina, charging him with rape of a mentally disabled person, indecent sexual assault of a person with a mental disability, financial exploitation of a care-dependent person, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. With the assistance of Carlisle Borough Police, Warren was located at the Valley Ridge Apartments complex at 371 Army Heritage Drive in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and he was taken into custody. He was transported to Cumberland County Jail and remains held on a $35,000 bond.